Welcome to this week's edition of Sun News at Noon. I'm Stockton Myers.
And I'm Reagan Morris. Thanks for tuning in.
An exhibit about sexual assault is coming to 2 locations on campus next month. What Were You Wearing is an exhibit from the Women's Resource Center that seeks to disprove the stereotype that more assaults happen to women because of the clothing they were wearing at the time of the crime. The exhibit will be open first at the Holland Building from April 4th to the 8th, and then will open again at the HPC lobby from the 11th to the 15th.
This week we celebrate diversity at DSU with events held each day. The annual Taste Around the World took place yesterday on campus. Students, staff, and faculty had the opportunity to share their culture by preparing dishes from their home country. Over 18 different countries were represented at the event, accompanied by a popular native dish. The event is hosted each year by the Multicultural and Inclusion Center and has become a community favorite. All were invited to eat, learn, and celebrate different cultures. The next event of Diversity Week will be Watching Into the Spider-Verse tonight at 7 p.m. in the Burns Arena.
Dixie State University has many international students. Here is reporter Misha with an international student highlight.
Dixie State University has around 200 international students that are currently enrolled on campus, and their number continues to grow. We asked them why they chose Dixie State.
One of the reasons that brought me to Dixie, I wanted to change career paths because my first bachelor's was business, and then I realized I wanted to do something more creative, so I decided to go back to school. And the tuition here at DSU is very affordable, and also we have great weather here in southern Utah, very sunny. Here I've had really good opportunities to develop my design skills. Thanks to one of my professors, Rachel Ramsey, I was recommended to a local software company. So I'm currently doing an internship in graphic design, and I've been working for this company for like over a year now. So I think that's gonna give me a great experience, and then when I graduate, I think it will give me a good chance to find a job within my field in design. And hopefully in the future, I would like to have my own creative agency, and like be my own boss, and we'll see what the future brings.
The international office has tremendous quantifiable success in the last couple of years. Just to give you some numbers, last year, or we can say 2 years ago, on today's date and today, when we compare the growth, we are at 566% admit growth. That is huge. And now that we are going out from a small college in the middle of southern Utah into an institution on a global scale, Utah Tech University, we are entering a new phase. The goal is we try to help increase the local economy, diversity, intercultural understanding to an extent physically possible.
For Sun News, I'm Misha Mosichuk.
Resources for international students can be found at international.dixie.edu.
Starting Monday, DSU is celebrating the 109-year-old tradition of D-Week. D-Week is filled with events for students, staff, and community members. These events include the 100th D-Queen pageant, Brooks Birthday Carnival, the Great Race, and more. Rounding out the week's festivities will be Inferno, the last dance of the year, featuring a special guest artist. Visit dixie.edu/dweek for the event list and details.
Utah is in a drought, which means we all need to do our part to save water. Here are some easy ways to do so. Start by not taking baths and instead take shorter showers. The easiest way to do this is get wet, turn off the water, lather up with soap and wash your hair, and then turn the shower back on to rinse off. Another way to save water is to avoid flushing toilets when you don't need to. That means disposing of tissues and bugs in a trash bin rather than flushing them down the toilet. When doing laundry, only use the washing machine when it is fully loaded, or adjust the washing machine water level to the appropriate amount of clothes that you are washing. Lastly, be sure to have some sort of water backup in case of emergencies. You can never be too careful when it comes to water.
St. George is recorded as the fastest growing population in the U.S. A new report shows nearly 10,000 new residents of Washington County from July of 2020 to July of 2021. This is a 5.1% increase in just a year. With new growth comes new problems, and the biggest problem for St. George is the steep housing market. The median sales price as of 2021 is $50,000, making it unaffordable for many people to buy a home. The county struggles to build more houses due to constraints on labor and construction supplies. CEO and part owner of Air Brokers Consolidated, Neil Walters, says that prices in the housing market won't stabilize until inventory is added to keep up with the growing population.
The Utah legislature overrides Governor Cox's veto. On March 22nd, Governor Cox vetoed a bill affecting high school athletics. This bill bars transgender girls from participating in female school sports. On Friday, the legislature voted to override his veto. The House vote was 56 to 18, and the Senate vote was 21 to 8 in favor of the override. This ban is set to take place on July 1st.
This is really interesting, Stockton. A lot of controversy happening in the state of Utah right now. I don't know if I was necessarily shocked at the override, but it's just nonetheless very interesting to see what's been happening.
Yeah, it's just everyone has their opinions. It can absolutely just, it's crazy how much these tiny, like these little opinions can build up, and they can absolutely just demolish an infrastructure, really.
For sure. There's been a lot of stuff going on in our Utah State Legislature recently, so we'll be sure to keep everyone updated with that.
Absolutely. Coming up next, I'll be back with Stockton's Screen Time.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms.
This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the sagebrush, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Come down. Turn please, right? Sodium carbonate.
Hey there, Trailblazers. I hope you're enjoying these fine tunes on this afternoon. We're at the top of our hour and we have more music on the way, so stay tuned.
If the character is moving too fast for their stride,
Welcome back. Let's get right into the thick of it. Will Smith took the Oscars by storm by slapping Chris Rock live on television. The reason for the exchange was due to a joke that Chris Rock made regarding the appearance of Will Smith's wife, and by proxy, her health. Smith marched right on stage and smacked the host with a very dramatic slap. After the slap, Will Smith won Best Actor for his performance in the Williams sisters' biopic, King Richard. The Oscars released a tweet afterwards saying that the Academy doesn't condone violence of any form. Will Smith since then has issued a formal apology to Chris Rock on his Instagram, saying, "I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be." The last thing I will say about the matter is Denzel Washington's involvement. Apparently, Denzel was quite the mediator between the two celebrities throughout the rest of the night. After the altercation, Denzel said to Smith, "At your highest moments, be careful. That's when the devil comes for you." Kind of sounds like Smith's apology was influenced by these words, but that's just my opinion on the matter. Of course, when anything happens with a celebrity or anything they do that's sort of foolish or just absolutely just news breaking, the meme game is always strong, and I like to showcase a couple of these. I'm always a big fan of the, "Was I a good meme?" And it always ends up going back in the face, literally, for this guy right here. And this was my experience literally just this week when I found out about the altercation. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Funny enough, these two actually lead perfectly into our next story today. The MCU's next step in its legacy is Moon Knight on Disney+. The first episode premiered yesterday, and it seems to be a more standalone story in the MCU with a darker tone and a focus on the multiple personalities of Oscar Isaac's character. The series will last for 6 episodes, with each episode being released on Wednesdays. This series is also being billed more as a limited series, so it's unclear whether or not this will get multiple seasons and if the series will have a larger connection to the rest of the MCU. Lastly, fans of the Wizarding World are in for a very interesting holiday season this year, thanks to Hogwarts Legacy. This game is an open world, free to explore video game set in the world of Harry Potter in the late 1800s. You get to explore Hogwarts, attend classes, and stop a goblin uprising from happening across the wizarding world. The game is being developed by a team of Harry Potter superfans at Avalanche Games who wanted to make sure that Hogwarts felt alive and the world was yours for the taking. You can also decide what kind of wizard you want to be, such as being able to customize your character from the ground up and using the spells you want to use, even the evil ones. The game is set for holiday of this year, so it will still be a couple of months, but I won't be surprised to see if the game is delayed into 2023. After the break, we'll be back with Reagan and the newly elected student body VPs.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Shopping sprees, sip my ties and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me.
Welcome back. Today I am joined by Vice President-elects Carson Ray and Fernando Rodas. Sorry. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really wanted to have you guys here just to shed some light on what your guys' roles will be next year as the VPs. So I want to start off just with some introductions. Carson, if you don't mind starting, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Carson Ray. I grew up in Hurricane, Utah, graduated from Hurricane High. Close by. My dad owns a business locally, so that's actually where I work. It's a little pawn shop on the boulevard.
Oh, cool.
Super cool. Yeah, I love it. It's so fun. I've been here at Dixie for 2 years. I'm majoring in biomedical sciences, and I'm just excited. My goal in life, I want to become a doctor, so I'm planning on going to med school.
Cool.
I love getting involved. I love student government.
Yes,
it's so fun.
That's awesome. And you are the new vice president for next year of Utah Tech University of Academics.
Academics.
Correct.
Yep.
All right. And what about you, Fernando?
Well, I'm Fernando. I am here local from St. George, Utah.
Oh, so
but
two
locals. Yeah.
Okay.
I live in Hurricane as well.
Yeah. Great town.
And yeah, from Hurricane High. Great. Go Tigers.
Did you guys know each other?
Yes,
or?
He was a grade above me. He parked behind me in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so
crazy.
When he was on Instagram, I was like, hey, like this is just like old times.
Yeah.
So working together will be a good adjustment,
for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Smooth?
Yeah, I love Southern Utah. I'm a really big fan of down here. I work as an office manager for a painting company. It kind of sparked it a little bit in me, and now I get to open my own business pretty here soon.
Wow.
In that same field. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Super cool.
That's super cool. Wow. What are you majoring in right now?
Business management. So
Okay.
it kind of correlates
right.
with each
Okay.
other. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I guess we can just go one by one, but I want to know what your goals are, your main goals for next year. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Fernando is the next VP of Clubs and Organizations, so he'll be over that. So yeah, let's talk about goals. Goals for next year and what you plan to accomplish with your new roles.
For sure, yeah. One of my biggest goals is I want to make sure that the senators on the academic senate are more recognized by the students. I feel like a lot of the senators, people don't really know who they are, and I really want to change that. We've started, this previous VPA has actually put out suggestion boxes starting this week. I don't know if you guys will notice them. They're red, huge, gonna be right in the middle.
Good to know.
Yeah. And I also, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with the academics branch, but one of our main purposes is we provide funding for conferences, capstone projects, any sort of way that's going to improve your overall academic success. And I really want people to know that we're there and we're here to help them. And I I want to make sure that we get as many people funded as possible.
That's awesome. I think that's really important to echo out to students, because students need to know that that people have their back,
Yeah,
and that's
free
awesome.
money too. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
free money. Come on. What about
Everybody
you?
loves money, yeah. So my role for clubs and organizations, a little about them is they oversee all the clubs here on campus. We have over 60, 70 active clubs here on campus.
So many.
That's amazing because it shows that students have an interest in doing something other than just being